I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and it's part 2 of the full video review of the LG G Pad 8.3. It's a new Android tablet from LG, and it brings a lot of great features from the G2 over to their tablet platform. That said, is it worth buying over the iPad or other Android devices? Let's find out in part 2. It's part 2 of the LG G Pad 8.3 full video review, LG's newest tablet, and it's intended to compete with the likes of not only Android tablets out there, but the iPad as well. At 8.3 inches, it offers a nice balance of speed and being not too big in comparison to 10.1 inches or even 9.7 inches that you see on the current iPad. Before I get too far into part 2 of the video review, I want to thank our partners at Best Buy Mobile. They don't give us tablets, but they do give us phones that we give to you for free on the site at PhoneDog.com. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, they'll make sure you walk out with a device that works best for you. They're unbiased, so whether it's Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, or T-Mobile, they'll make sure you're hooked up and ready to go. Thanks to the boys in blue at Best Buy Mobile. I also want to thank LG for providing us with a review unit. So kicking off part 2, a lot of you have asked me either on Facebook or Twitter, what is this Q-Pair thing? And I've been using this in my time with the LG G Pad 8.3, and it does have some flaws, but overall I think this is a great experience all around, particularly if you use obviously an LG G2 or another one of LG's smartphones, but really the G2 is their current flagship device. So let's say, for example, you've got a G2 and your G Pad 8.3, well, you can sync them up, as you can see here. Q-Pair activated on both of these devices. You see the notification in the notification area here, and I can, for example, call, I can send text messages, and they'll pop up on the display itself here. Now, what's particularly interesting is, as far as I'm concerned, and perhaps I'm wrong, but so far as I can tell, I can't actually go into a message. So let's say, for example, somebody sends me a text message, and I would love to manipulate this. Let me see what I can do. Let's say somebody sends me a text message, and I'm looking at it on my tablet. Well, I don't have a dedicated, so far as I can see, a dedicated message area. All that happens is it pops up on the display itself. So, for example, if I'm texting myself, I'll go into, let's see here, hardware information. Let me go ahead and find my status here, actually, status. And I'm going to go ahead and send a test text, say that 3 times fast, test text to this number, 908-210-2696. This is a demo phone number, and I'm going to say, hey there. So, for example, you're going to see it pop up on the G2, but then you're also going to see it pop up on the tablet as well. So obviously you saw it pop up here, and it pops up as a pop-up. That's a lot of pop-ups that I'm saying, but pops up as a notification here. If I don't respond, for example, right here, I can do that. I can say, hey there, and hit send, and you can see that it'll auto-update over on my device itself right here. So it does auto-update, but like you saw there, I don't have an option to go into apps, for example, and go into messaging and actually see my messages synced up so far as I can tell right here. I don't have that option to do that. And same thing with calls. When I get a phone call coming in, it shows it on the tablet, but I'm pretty limited in terms of my options with Q-Pair. Still, it's nice to have that though, because I can't think of any other time, or countless times rather, I can think of where I'm on the couch and I've got my tablet in front of me but I don't have my phone, and it's nice to be able to see like a phone call, for example, come in, and I can either decline it with message, I can decline it all around, or I can close this notification out. So that's a cool little feature there, and of course it prompts me to reach for my phone. I like it, but still needs to be fleshed out just a little bit more on LG's side. Let's talk about quadrant standard here as well, because this is running a 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU. So not quite Snapdragon 800, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to go, why doesn't it have a Snapdragon 800? This thing must be terrible. It's fast all around in day-to-day performance. I don't see a difference between Snapdragon 600 devices and Snapdragon 800 in day-to-day performance. You're obviously going to see it in quadrant standard, or I would guess you'd see it in quadrant standard, but overall, been very pleased with the day-to-day performance of this device. The 2 gigabytes of RAM couples with it nicely. It performs well, and there's a lot to like combined with the display. It's really an impressive tablet all around, and I like the design and the knock-on features and things like that. But we'll say battery life has been great as well. 4,600 milliamp hour non-removable battery, and combined with the fact that this is a Wi-Fi only version, expect better battery life all around as a result of that. But that said, it has exceeded my expectations in day-to-day use. I've been pretty pleased with the battery life, and it's definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a tablet that lasts through the day and a little bit more. So very impressive all around. So we'll go to benchmark result here, and let's see, 11,721. Obviously, I say this all the time, it's not indicative of day-to-day performance, but when I don't put it in a YouTube video, you guys yell at me. So I got to put it in a YouTube video so I don't get yelled at, because yelling is just mean. I'm just messing with you. But you see there, pretty decent all around, and I say that with battery as it goes to 15%. I haven't charged this thing in I don't know how long, so I've been really impressed with battery life all around on the G Pad 8.3. Let's take a look here at camera as well and see how it performs. 5 megapixel camera here. Obviously, and you know what, I'm going to take it in portrait mode because I just know how much everybody hates portrait pictures on a tablet. But you can see mode here, for example, a couple of different mode options. You've got normal, HDR, panorama, continuous shot, beauty shot, VR panorama, time catch. You've got some different options here as to how you take your pictures. That said, the lack of flash is obviously going to play a role if it's night or you're taking a picture and it's a little bit blurry. You've got a little bit of a less camera in comparison to the 13 megapixel shooter on the LG G2. So this is not going to be a replacement to your smartphone or even your standalone camera, but you still have some nice options here. Cheese shutter, color effect, image size, ISO. You've got some nice camera features in a tablet form factor, which I think is pretty decent. You know what? We'll bring its brethren over here, the LG G2 rather. Snap a picture, as you can see there. And overall image quality is pretty decent. I mean, there's a lot of light shining down on this right now, and you can see the fingerprint, the smudges on the G2, and the power button on the back, and volume rocker on the back. But you can see the noise, if you will, around the lens right there. A very blurry image all around. So that's where you can really tell this is a 5 megapixel shooter as opposed to a 13 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, for example. That is one place where its brother can tout its credentials and toot its horn a little bit. So overall, you know, really impressed with this device. There's a lot to like, and it brings some of the best of LG to a tablet form factor. I mean, some of my favorite things, personalization, and you can see here, for example, Chrome. I still have the option to edit the icons as well. So you've got that personalization piece here that you get on the G2. It's just nice to see that they've carried that over to the G-Pad 8.3 where you can do that personalization. It looks very similar. If you've used the G2 or any other recent LG device, you're going to find this to be very familiar. Widgets and wallpapers here as well. Overall, very pleased with the performance of this device. It's a nice tablet alternative. The question you have to ask yourself is, what are you looking for in a tablet? And I say this all the time on the phone side, but you got to ask yourself this with tablets as well. Are you looking for Wi-Fi only? Are you looking for LG's user interface, or TouchWiz, or iOS 7, or stock Android even with some of the newer Nexus tablet devices? It's up to you. You got to make that call as to what's most important to you. What I will say about this device, battery life is great. This thing is incredibly fluid, much like the G2. Very pleased with the performance. LG's user interface is leaps and bounds better than what it was even 2 years ago. There's a lot to like on LG's newest G-Pad device, and actually their first tablet, or in some time. It's been a while since they've done a tablet device. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for more on the LG G-Pad 8.3. I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron and would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of this device. Is it something you consider? Are you looking out for a Samsung Galaxy Note tablet, for example, or perhaps an iPad, or even something else? I'd love to hear from you on Twitter or on Facebook at Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Thanks for watching. More to come on this. We'll start some tablet dogfights here in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for those. And as always, I'll see you next time.